presents Steven Seagal.
You just made number 4 on the most wanted list.
Number 4? I want to be number 1.
Thrilling, compelling, and indestructible.
Yes, sir!
In a collection of action-packed, explosive movies. In real life, the holder of a 6th-degree black belt in Aikido, a former security operative and expert marksman, Steven Seagal brings a high level of realism to the explosive action.
So today we're going to discuss and look at the early work of Stephen Frederick Seagal. Seagal was quite the nemesis to the BBFC in the early years. So we've got 8 films here that were cut of their violence. And as you can see from Seagal's Paddington's hard stare, he was not amused.
Nico.
I must order all of you to stand down.
One man, one rule. Nico, a detective with a mission.
You do your job, I'll do mine. Bank on it, pal.
Fighting the drug terror his own way. There's no stopping Nico.
You guys think you're above the law? Well, you ain't above the line.
So first film on the list is called Nico, or is it? So Nico was renamed Above the Law in the UK because Cynthia Rothrock had a film out called Above the Law, although that was called Righting Wrongs in other parts of the world. So now on to the first edit, which has the VHS at the top and the Blu-ray at the bottom.
Hey. Come here. Holy fuck, man. Stop this motherfucker. He's crazy.
I'm not sure, but I think he broke his nose. So this next clip was cut not because of violence, but...
2C. I swear, man. It's 2C.
This is what it looks like, my friend.
So that bit was cut in case it was too educational. So it's one more clip where he finishes off the bad guy. Ouch, I felt that one. So that was Nico, or whatever his bloody name was. But now on to the next one.
Hard to kill. He was gunned down and left for dead.
Now's the time.
LA detective Mason Storm is back to even the score in Hard to Kill.
Mind if I play? We'll get him, buddy. Believe me.
So this is Hard to Kill, which kept its name worldwide. There are only 2 cuts in this film, and both take place at the end of the film. So here's the first one.
It's for my wife. Fuck you and die.
He did deserve that, to be fair, but it was just a kick to the face, so I don't know why it was cut. So the next clip might be cut because it was a bit too suggestive.
Die! How do you like this for a night?
So that was Hard to Kill, which absolutely needed a Kelly LeBrock solo shower scene. But now, onto one that was cut a lot more.
Steven Seagal is marked for death. But this time, he's bringing out the big guns. Marked for death on video cassette.
So now we have Steven Seagal as White Boy Hatcher in Marked for Death. So the first cut comes in the jewelry shop fight. So whilst Steven Seagal does enjoy a good arm break, the BBFC does not enjoy people seeing it, as we'll see again in this next clip. Ruth, that looks painful. But not as bad as what was cut out of the next scene. I haven't seen this much eye trauma since the last Fulci film. But now it's time for some mannequin trauma. So luckily they weren't triplets. And now on to the most brutal of Seagal's films.
He can take a compliment. This guy's good. He can take a punch. But now he's taking out the garbage. Steven Seagal. Out for Justice. Look for it at your video store.
So continuing Seagal's penchant for three-word titles is Out for Justice. So our first clip actually comes before the titles, and I've had to speed it up to avoid copyrights. A pretty bloodless section cut out. I can't imagine why they didn't like that. So this next scene isn't just cut, it has an alternate edit on the VHS. Ew, that cleaver scene gets me every time. Mostly because it wasn't on the VHS I used to watch a lot. Now, does anyone know where's Richie?
Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
Just a quick break for copyright reasons.
Hey, fuckface, you want to get by me? There's only two things stopping you. Fear and common sense. And I'm gonna cut your fucking head off.
So obviously cut to stop people copying it by putting a pool ball in a towel. And now some poor henchman's death gets cut out of the film.
You're dead. Come on, you rat bastard!
So in the VHS version, the henchman just disappears from the story. And now for the last cut, which is a bit more of a beating to Richie. So that was Seagal Out for Justice, and now we'll see what he's like under siege.
Under Siege. The ultimate nightmare. A nuclear battleship hijacked by terrorists. There's just one thing they didn't count on. The cook.
Who are you?
Just a cook.
Ryback is an ex-SEAL, expert in martial arts, explosives, weapons, and tactics.
I know you, don't I?
Been a long time.
So on to Steven Seagal's biggest hit. So to no one's surprise, most of the edits are in the second half of the film. The funniest thing about these edits is on VHS you probably wouldn't even notice the blood and gore. Next up, the most famous cut. So the bandsaw cut was the one I heard about before I even saw the film on DVD or Blu-ray. Next up, a homage to Roadhouse. Only Seagal thinks he could outdo Swayze. Next up, the final cut to reduce the eye trauma. This might be the most ridiculous cut so far. They already had the thumb in the eye, so what was a bit more blood? But that was Under Siege, and now to one Seagal directed.
On deadly ground. A shadow has fallen across Alaska. Big business is ravaging the wilderness, and the locals are powerless to stop it. Only one man can change their fate.
I don't need that kind of problem right now.
The battle against an evil conspiracy is fought on deadly ground.
He'd need a miracle to stop us now.
As a recording, the only film Seagal has directed, unless he can direct his next one by sitting down the whole time. So now Seagal teaches respect by having a bar fight. So if you know the reason for those cuts, answers on a postcard or a sealed envelope, please. And we're not done with the bar fight yet.
Hey, buddy, don't be fucking with oil workers, huh?
I do hope the stuntmen were paid well. We know how rough Seagal can be with them. And we're still in the opening bar fight for this next scene. So an arm break and through a window. I think he didn't deserve that. So now Arnie's old mate Sven dishes out some torture. Apparently that would have had kiddies wetting their beds if they'd seen this. Here's a blink and you'll miss it one. Did you notice when he was shot the second time, the blood from the original shot wasn't there? And now Sven gets his comeuppance. So smacking someone in the face twice with a whalebone is too much for the BBFC. This next cut is an odd one. I got nothing. I don't know why. And more arm stuff coming up. Maybe the VHS fights are shorter to show how awesome Seagal is? Maybe. The reason for this next one is an oddity. Even though she tried to run them over and was trying to kill them, apparently you can't see her suffer by being trapped in the car. But time for some fire stunts anyway.
Get the fuck out of here!
Apparently that would show people suffering, and we can't have that. The audience is suffering enough anyway. And now for some scenes of Seagal giving some pole.
Russell, take it!
There's no blood, there's no gore. I guess maybe kids would copy it, but that's about it. And we've saved the best for last. Well, that was a gnarly one, wasn't it? Right, next film.
Under Siege 2. A train out of control.
What the hell is going on?
2 American cities targeted for nuclear destruction. Only one thing can avert a Holocaust. The cook from Under Siege.
Nobody beats me in the kitchen.
Hold on tight for the ride of your life. Under Siege 2.
So now we're on to Seagal's only theatrically released sequel. Oh yeah, the UK ditched the Dark Territory subtitle. So this film has the most cuts and is the most copyright sensitive.
Fuck is this, huh? Huh? Anything else? Huh? Go. Fuck out of here!
So that's just the first of many silly cuts, as you'll see from this one.
The needle point will pass through the lens with very little difficulty. The heat will cauterize and seal the wound.
So as you can see, just describing something is too much for the BBFC. And it continues now.
For Christ's sakes, it's impossible. You know that. The codes are different now. You can't use them anymore. It's no good for him. He can't use them. Linda, for God's sake, please, get him going.
So there we get some petty cuts, and now we get some actual physical cuts.
They are so slow.
Tricky one to spot there is just a quick slice. This one's a bit more unintentionally hilarious.
Son of a bitch is on the roof! Go! Hold him on!
Damn shame the UK missed out on that stuntman's performance. They've only gone and cut some cooking now.
I'm making a bomb.
So there's that's gone, and the rest of the recipe has gone too.
Hey, why the fuck do you need lighter fluid? It's like a detonator.
So the BBFC do not like educational videos either. And now they've removed more stuntmen's hard work. Do you like your henchman flambe or extra crispy? As you see, the more we go on, the more ridiculous the cuts are. So for people still counting on this, that is the third clip of someone on fire that's been cut from the film. And there's still one more. So that's not the last person on fire in this film, but it's the last person cut for being on fire in this film. So now it's time for more hand stuff.
See me.
I'm starting to feel sorry for the henchmen in this, and I'm on their side, not Seagal's. Especially this next bloke. My teeth hurt just watching that bit. Don't try this next one at home, kids. Compared to what's coming up, that was a mercy killing. Next one is just the tip. Shooting someone in the face is okay, but throwing a knife in their neck is not, apparently. 2 quick cuts coming up. And there's me thinking you can't kill the Sandman. I was wrong. If you're wondering where the arm break scene is, here we go. I think Seagal is just getting off on it now. Another ridiculous cut coming up.
You let me handle Ryback. And you take care of the techno shit. He's mine.
So you can't even show people threatening with a knife now. This VHS must be at least 10 minutes shorter. Just a quick intermission. So they cut the knife measuring scene. Which is difficult because it's a knife fight in the end. I think they cut less than 1 second of a knife being shown then. And they weren't done there.
Good morning.
But they did cut him being pleasant. Sadly, we're not at the end of the cuts to this knife fight. Okay, here's the last one. Thank Funk for that. So we've got one more cut, and it's a doozy. 2 thumbs up from the bad guy for that kill. But that was the final cut to Under Siege 2. And now on to our final film.
He's a man of mystery.
Seems everything about you smoke and mirrors, Jack. All I can tell you is I ain't always been a cop.
Now, to protect himself and his family,
Take the kids upstairs.
a man of peace has declared war.
I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't like it. Nobody threatens me.
Steven Seagal, Keenan Ivory Wayans, the Glimmer Man.
And so to the Glimmer Man. You can tell what type of film it is, as there's only 2 cuts to this one. So you can show the aftermath, but you just can't show the beating with a gun. So on to the last clip, and it's beating up the bad guy. Man of peace, you say? Well, that was the Glimmer Man, and that was our last clip for today. So I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane of the VHSs that I had that were totally edited. Until 1999, when James Furman left the BBFC, and everything was released uncut following that. Thanks for watching, and here endeth the lesson.
5 high-voltage thrillers for you to own on video now.